RZ 2 meters.
K6MI 711.
Oh, hi, John. K6MI 711. How are you doing?
Okay, just checked in on the 2-meter pressure. I'm sure you're close yet. Also worked the Big Karen and American Samoa on one time. So that's been great fun. K6 Mike Italy.
Okay. I'm copying most of this. Boy, you're weak, considering I'm pointed right down your way. I'm toward Bakersfield, but that's just not normally that far off of you, but you're weak. I didn't catch all what you said about Pitcairn.
I worked Pitcairn and American Samoa, the expeditions, quite a few times. They're on the air a lot, quite fun. They're specific, you know, easy to work when they're on. K6 Mike Italy.
Yeah, okay, I understand. Pitcairn's all over the place and you're having fun working them. Good deal. The LA guys are coming in and they're giving you interference trouble. You're about the same strength as the LA guys for some reason. Must be running barefoot there. Anyway, we got it. Thanks for the check-in, John. Go back to have fun with Pitcairn and see if you can get them on every band there is known demand. Over.
That's great. Pretty fun. I like to do that.
I know. That's your thing. Okay, 7-3.
7-3.
Okay, well, I'm looking south and looking for KB6RQU. We haven't heard Rick for some time. I think I'm pointed south. Let's see. What does that say, Judy?
151.
Yeah, 151. We're pretty close to southeast. Looking for N6SWR, who had a pretty good signal the other night on 432, all things considered. K6MYC Bozo Net, 2 meters, Sunday night.
Kilo Golf 6, Charlie Echo Fox, number 982.
Yeah, good evening, Daryl. Good to hear you. Good strong signal this evening. And how are you keeping up on the hill there, over?
Oh, we're just barely hanging in there, but we're still with it.
What do you mean just barely hanging in? What does that mean?
I'm going to be changing antennas around and putting a rotor up. That's what I'm looking to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully that's going to go easy for you. You got some help for that?
Oh, yeah. I'll if I need help, I got somebody that'll help me.
All righty. Well, you're doing good to hear this evening. Boy, it's still another warm one. I guess we got one more day of this 100-degree stuff, and then it's going to start to cool for us. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm enjoying the time that we have in the pool. It's nice to be at 100 degrees outside when we're in the pool at 85. So when it's outside 85, I'm not all excited about going in the pool. But last few days it's been nice. We got the pool all cleaned up. Judy and I, she did a nice job cleaning the filter. We pulled the filter out and got it all washed off. It was all green with algae, and diatomaceous earth was all clogged up. So we got that all working, and boy, overnight she cleaned up beautifully. So we're back to a nice sparkling blue pool again. Anyway, that and about 6 other projects here, cleaning the roof off with all the pine and redwood debris, getting the gutters cleaned out, getting ready for rain here. Over.
Roger on getting ready for the rain. We can only hope. Yeah, I believe the landlord's going to have the back half of my house re-roofed. We got it loaded up with sealant, but it never did a complete job. He ended up with some bad shingles.
Oh boy. Well, I'm just about getting ready to do my barn. We've just pretty much settled on the guy that we're going to have it done by. And hopefully in a couple of weeks they'll be starting on the barn roof here. The barn roof is more than a barn, as you know. It's a real ham shack, and it's a test facility. Has a machine shop in one room, and a test area, and things like that. So it's far from a barn, about the furthest from a bar you can get, except it still has a barn door and the barn shape. Hi. Anyway, that's what we're getting ready to do. I've got shingles that have been on there for 30 years, and they're gone. They're floating off in the wind. Every time the wind comes up, we find shingles all over the yard here. So that's in the plans here very shortly.
Okay. How's Frank doing? Is he okay?
He's doing okay. I suspect we'll hear Frank in here tonight. He was down here yesterday. Between Frank and his wife, they had no end of fits. His wife was in the hospital also over the weekend or on Saturday night or Friday night, something. She had an attack. She had been having some dental work done, and they gave her some pain pills that interacted with her high blood pressure medicine, and it spiked her blood pressure, and she felt faint. And she was at work at the time at Table Mountain Casino where she works, and they took her right to the hospital. So Frank was in the hospital with her until midnight that night, and so that hasn't made it any easier on what they're doing. He had a tooth pulled on Tuesday. It went bad. Had to go for the next day for surgery because they didn't get it all, and a tooth broke up, and they had to dig down in there deep and get bone pieces and tooth pieces out and all kinds of stuff. So he's had a hell of a week, but he sounded pretty good yesterday when he's here, and I suspect we'll hear him tonight. Over.
Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, I know about that. That is miserable. That's bad. I hope he's feeling better.
Okay. Yeah, I know most of us have been through that. I never had any issues with any tooth pulling, but I've had several teeth pulled and then had them replaced. I've got replacement teeth in about 4 places in my mouth. But that's expensive. Frank hasn't been able to do that. He's got a whole mouthful of teeth in terms of a denture that he's about ready to get in his face. So that'll be a good thing for him. He'll be able to smile with a full set of teeth one of these days. Anyway, let's see who else is in here, Daryl, but great to hear you. Who was that?
I'm missing 4 on the bottom in the front.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I look like Joe Hillbilly.
I was going to say, you're from the hills of Kentucky or someplace, aren't you?
I'm from Raymond.
Can you whistle?
No.
You can't call the girls if you can't whistle.
I know it. Isn't that awful?
Okay, who else do we have in here this evening in the San Joaquin Valley? This is Mike, K6MYC, Bozo Net, 2 meters, standing by.
Oh, Mike,
KK6, KE, 704.
Okay, hi, Terry. I heard you in there. We've got somebody else underneath you, but let me get you in here first. KK6ZKE, 704. How are you doing? Holding up with the warm garage?
Yeah, I got the turntable running. Wondering, 40 years of advancement on phono cartridges is quite amazing.
Yeah, very good. And do you have an old 78 or LP to put on it?
Oh, yeah, I've got the stuff I had when I was a kid and then collected over the years at CES in Vegas.
Oh, I bet you're having some fun listening to all that stuff.
Yeah, it sounds quite good. It makes digital not sound good.
Okay. Well, I guess that's whatever you get used to. Anyway, good to hear you. And nice strong signal here this evening. I heard somebody underneath you, so let's see who that was. It may be the LA guys. I'm not sure. They're leaking in on us here a little bit. I got KK6ZKE standing by. Who was the other one?
WA6LOL 856. Hello, Mike.
Yeah, good evening, Dave. Off the backside, we'll take you, even though you're not part of the San Joaquin Valley here, so to speak. But good to hear you. Glad to hear you back in. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little better from all your aftermath stuff with the chemo. Over.
Yeah, boy, I sure was going through it. You know, it's funny, the year before that cancer, I was out every day in the summer wakeboarding behind my jet boat with a boat full of young ladies and stuff. That was fun. And then I get cancer and I come out like a 100-year-old guy, you know. So anyway, but I'm getting back. I just went out to the college and hiked out to the labyrinth with a friend of mine and her kids. So, you know, we're kind of making hiking fun. So I'm losing quite a bit of weight and getting back in shape. So anyway, yeah, well, good to talk to you, Mike, and hope everything is okay up there. I heard you talking about putting a roof on. So anyway, I think that's how you stay in such good shape. You're like, hit the ground running in the morning. K6MYC, WA6LOL.
Well, I'm not going to put the roof on. I got people coming to do that. I've done roofs in the past, but that was younger. I could do the roof here if I was in perfect shape and younger, but this steep roof on the barn is nasty, and I prefer to have professionals do this roof. But anyway, no, we've got plenty. Well, I did spend some time on the roof of the house. I spent 2.5 days on the roof off and on, fixing swamp cooler pumps and all kinds of stuff, and then sweeping all the debris from my big redwood off the roof and cleaning out the gutters. We got what? Judy's patting me on the tummy here. I got a T-shirt that's got about 15 holes right in the middle. Yeah, we work, and I wore this T-shirt because it was cooler. It lets more air in. Over.
Yeah, air conditioned, huh? So, yeah, well, I guess they do have those things for bikers and stuff that are like heaters in jackets and things. And I don't know, they may probably have an air conditioning in a jacket too, you know, but anyway, so, well, yeah, things are going pretty good, and just staying on the moon here. The moon is actually right at sunset right now, so it gets down into the west. I'm not very good to the west, so anyway. Oh, I did have one question, real quick question for you before you go on here. Okay, you were explaining that when I shoot my 2-meter signal up to the moon and I go through the ionosphere, I'm liable, or maybe not, to go through a cloud, which is high electron density, just like clouds, but you can't see them, but they're there. That'll put a spin on my signal, and it might be a fast spin, it might be a slower spin, but it'll put a spin on, and that spin will continue until something else changes it, like coming back through the atmosphere or bouncing off the moon. So my question is, when people talk about slow Faraday or fast Faraday, that means just for them, where they happen to be listening or transmitting, well, listening through the ionosphere, the signals that are coming back from the moon through their cloud in the ionosphere would tend, and the other guy too would tend, so everybody's spin would be at a different rate. I guess that's my question. Just when people say, hey, Faraday is fast today or slow today, that's an individual thing. Everybody's going to be different. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yes, you're correct in that sense, but maybe your interpretation of spin is wrong. It's not really spinning. What you have is rotation that is occurring mechanically with micron-sized electrons, and it doesn't continue to spin. In other words, if I start out here at your place, you're horizontally polarized, and you go up through 120 miles of ionosphere, and then you come out the other side, and there's no more electrons. Let's say the amount of electrons in the path that you're aiming through to get to the moon, maybe there was just enough in there to make your rotation of your polarity go 1 complete turn, 2 complete turns, and a third part of a turn. So let's say 2.5 complete turns. It's going to come out of the ionosphere 120 miles above you and stay in that polarity all the way to the moon. It's going to hit the moon, bounce off, and come back, not spinning, but just come back at whatever polarity it hits the moon, because there's no ionosphere there to rotate it. And then when it passes back through the ionosphere, if you're listening to your own echoes, it's going to come back through that same 2.5 turns of ionosphere, and it's either going to match up with your polarity or you're going to hear nothing. Slow Faraday rotation is what it is. It's not spin. Spin is not a good word for this application. It's rotation, and it only occurs in the ionosphere. Over.
Okay, so I was thinking that it would start rotating or spinning, and it would continue. And so what you're saying is that it just it alters the polarity by some amount, 2.5 or 1 times or a half a turn or something, and then it stays that way until it gets back and gets affected one more time. Okay, well, there you go. I guess I'm glad I asked that question.
If you're talking about, it gets a little more complicated if you're talking circular polarity. If you go up right hand and you go out right hand circular and hit the moon, when it comes back off the moon's surface, it reverses the polarity, and you have to switch to left hand circular in order to hear your echo. Over.
Oh yeah, I heard somebody talking about that. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So I'm not sure I understand now how Faraday over like a 20-minute cycle would tend to, you know, if I have a polarity mismatch with another guy that's, say, linearly polarized or whatever, and I don't hear him, and I wait for about 20 minutes until Faraday kind of rotates it around so it's correct, then I don't understand why there's like a period then between polarity changes.
Okay, the period is related to the number of electrons in the path and the band and the frequency and everything. But let's just take 2 meters, for instance. On 2 meters, you might get 5 to 7 complete rotations at the time of day when the sun is lighting the ionosphere up and you've got a massive amount of electrons up there. Let's say 10 o'clock to noon in the morning. You're going out through that, and you're going to be rotating your signal many times. If you rotate many times, it means you're going to be coming around to a matchup more frequently. If you're going at night, the electron content is very light, and you might go out through a path that only rotates you 3/4 of a rotation, and then coming back another 3/4 of a rotation. And what happens when you come back? You don't hear any echoes. And because the electron content is not changing, that lockout, if you will, we used to call it a lockout, Faraday lockout, on your own echoes might continue for quite some time until you get pointed in a different direction to a different electron cloud or whatever could happen time-wise with sun and other factors. As the night continues, the electron content generally begins to decline and decline and decline. So at, let's say, midnight to 4 in the morning, there's almost no change, and you get locked out at that time. You're liable to stay locked out for quite a while. Whereas early evening, it's unwinding from the wind-up that occurred in the morning, and it could change every half hour or so. Over.
Oh, okay. All right. I get it. Yeah, you had mentioned before that that the electron density has to do with the amount of sun hitting the ionosphere. And so, all righty. Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Get my EME lecture 101 here. K6MYC WA6LOL.
Okay, Dave. Okay, Dave. Very good. You're getting it. You're getting it little by little. It's not straightforward, you know. And I've just learned this from being there for many years. I worked at Stanford in the 60s, and we were talking about that. So that's why I'm very familiar with it. And I built antennas to take care of Faraday rotation and track it and all the rest of it. So, and it occurs the Faraday rotation for a given cloud. If you had 4 antennas set up in your backyard, 6 meters, 2 meters, 222, or 432 and 1296, you might get rotation every 15 minutes in the morning on 2 meters. Every 5 minutes would be the rotation period on 6 for the same amount of electrons, and every hour and a half for 432. So it gets weaker and weaker. The rotation effect is less and less as you go up in frequency. At 1296, you can have massive amounts of lockouts, and that's why almost everybody on 1296 runs circular. Over.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah. Yeah, well, I do see people up on, I understand that there's not a lot of activity, very little on 6 because of the antennas, and there's a little bit on 432. Most of it is on 2 meters, and then I guess second most would be 1296. But yeah, I got my hands full trying to get that XT32 up in here. So anyway, I'm not going to any other bands anytime soon.
Yeah, well, on 2 meters with the vertical and the horizontal elements, you're never more than 3 dB down, no matter what polarity it's coming in, as long as it's linear polarity. And no matter what angle it's coming in at, you're always within 45 degrees of it, which is only 3 dB down. Most of the time, you're better than that. So that's why switching from vertical to horizontal usually gives you a huge bump. And sometimes you won't hear the guy at all vertical, and you'll hear him very loud horizontal. Sometimes you'll hear him about the same on both polarities, which means the signal's coming to you at about 45-degree tilt.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of interesting that the guys that have the dual polarity try to guess which polarity to use to get to the other guy. And so usually they'll try horizontal for a while, then they'll let you know on the cluster they're going to switch. And boy, it's like boom, it's like night and day. And then oftentimes, like I talked to a guy.
K6BBG 971 chicken.
Vertical to me, but he was hearing me horizontal. So. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So yeah. Well, I got a million questions, so I'm learning.
Yep. No, you're doing fine. And I got some more to add to that, but we've got other breakers, so let's get on with the net here. You got the bulk of it under control there. K6BBG. Good evening, Dave. How are you doing? K6BBG up there in Coarse Gold, probably still very, very warm. We're still about 100 degrees here, over.
Oh, we're at 85 right here right now, so it's not too bad. It was actually a pleasant day. It wasn't probably over 95 all day. So we were out and about. I had to run up and get some stuff from the hardware store. But yeah, it's a nice day out today.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it was a little cooler up there than it was here. At noon today, it was 98, and we were heading for 103 or something, and I suspect it got there, plus or minus a couple of degrees. We don't sit outside and watch the temperature gauge. We got better things to do most of the time here. But it was warm, and it stayed warm, but most of the problems occurred because there wasn't much wind today. Little tiny gusts, and then we'd have good 1 or 2 minutes of dead calm, and that's when it would really get making you kind of feel like it was warmer than it really was. Anyway, good evening, Dave. Good to hear you. Who else do we have in Coarse Gold? Let me see if I can clean the Coarse Gold guys out first off here. Coarse Gold, we got KG6 Charlie Echo Fox, K6BBG. Who else?
KM6SR.
I figured you'd be there. Give us your number, Rob.
Old 432.
Old 432. Judy's got it. Anybody else in Coarse Gold?
N6SWR.
N6SWR. You're not in Coarse Gold, but we'll take you, Ben. N6SWR. And your number, Ben?
Number 247. Sorry, I didn't want to break in, but it's been about 12 or 13 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We called you earlier, but then we got into a little bit of a technical discussion about moon bounce and Faraday rotation and stuff that some of us care about and others are bored by or don't understand. Sorry about that, but it was a worthwhile discussion. And basically, it's basic stuff when you're even starting out in moon bounce. You begin to know about Faraday rotation. That's the rotation of your polarity as it goes out through the ionosphere. Okay. Good to take a transmission and send it back up to Rob if you like, Ben. And it was nice to work you on 432 the other night. You weren't quite Q5 most of the time. You were almost Q5. Let's put it that way. So a major improvement from what we've seen in the past. N6SWR Bakersfield, K6MYC.
Roger, I intend to work on it some more. Hopefully we can get us a Q5 all the time. N6SWR.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Good evening, Ben. N6SWR, KM6SR. Good to hear you on there, over.
How are you doing this evening?
Oh, doing fine. Just kind of bearing the heat, but everybody's doing it. So good to hear you. KM6SR, back to net.
Roger, N6SWR, back to net.
Okay, thanks, Ben. And we'll look forward to each improvement one step at a time. It's always fun to see you guys improve your stations. That's really exciting. And that's kind of what the net's all about. We like to see people improving their station a little by little, and sometimes major improvements, sometimes not, sometimes on different bands and so on. But any improvement's better than sitting there on the couch watching football or something. Let's see, Rick, are you in there? KB6RQU, K6MYC. Still no Rick. Okay, how about Kerry? KC5DTU, Kerry?
K6USY.
Okay, I would have guessed that you were there, but I was getting working my way around to it. K6USY and your cohort. Go ahead, there, Aaron.
Yeah, K6USY 1079 and Bozo 1100 is off picking up the kids. We played hooky today and went over to the aquarium. It was 71 degrees and sunny in Monterey, and it was wonderful.
Oh, we're jealous.
Oh, and then I did work American Samoa on sideband, so at least I got that. I got to watch out and see if I can get Pitt Karen at some point. But yeah, John worked them on 12 meters, and then what band did I work? I think it was on 12 meters. I heard John working them, he got them, and then like 20 minutes later they heard me, and I was able to work them. So yeah, go out and work that DX, and I'll be standing by. K6USY.
Okay, very good, Aaron. Do me a favor, I know you can do this quickly. Bring up QRZ.com, and you've got it on the screen probably already. And look up Alpha Hotel 8A. Alpha Hotel 8A. That was American Samoa. That was the call sign of my friend, whose original California call was K6 Charlie Lima Mike, I believe. And that's Bill Fulkerson was his name, but I'm pretty sure you're going to come up with an SK on that one.
That is correct. Yeah, QRZ still has the call sign in the system as American Samoa, and it's listed as a silent key.
Okay, any other details, his name or anything?
Yeah, no, William Fulkerson, and the address goes to, yeah, that's American Samoa, so it's a P.O. box.
Yeah, okay. Does it say how long he's been gone?
Let's see, silent key reported in 2018.
Yeah, 6 years ago. Yeah, I hadn't heard from him for quite some time. I used to work him quite regularly. He was my boss at Stanford, my first-hand boss, like a lead man person. When I worked at Stanford, he got me the job at Stanford University up at the Big Dish, and we had thousands of QSOs together, and we did moon bounce together from the dish, and lots of HF contacts over the years. And he went to King Henry 6 for a while, and a couple of different locations in King Henry, and then finally moved down to Alpha Hotel 8. But Bill was a smoker, unfortunately, and I had a feeling that he eventually died of complications from that, lung cancer or something else. So sorry to see him go. He was a good old friend of mine, and we had lots of good times together. But I did never hear officially of his passing. So I just thought, as long as I could remember, I just remembered his call the other day when this KH8 Tango came up, and it took me a minute, and I said, wait a minute, was Bill's call, was Alpha Hotel 8H, I mean, so you got it, and that's it. So I can put Bill to rest as of about 2018 or so. Okay, thank you for that, Aaron. K6USY with K6ZKA, K6MYC.
Yeah, Roger, K6USY.
Okay, boy, it's a quiet night here. I'm waiting for more check-ins from the San Joaquin. I could list off everybody, but I don't want to embarrass you guys. Over.
803, course gold.
There's Big Dan. Hi, Dan. Haven't heard your cohort, your neighbor there yet, but we expect him. You're the fourth station now, number 4 from Course Gold. There's two others that could easily check in here. One of them, of course, is your buddy right next door to you there, WB6JNP, and the other one is Frank, W6BBS. I hope I hear Frank today. He's recovering from a very, very serious tooth pull and some surgery after that. So. And then, of course, his wife was ill also, so he had spent some time in the hospital with her. So he's had a hell of a week. Hopefully Frank will be in here in a few minutes for a quick check-in, if nothing else. Anyway, it's nice to hear Coarse Gold represented. You got more people in Coarse Gold than the rest of the whole San Joaquin Valley, Dan. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's good. That's the way it should be. I'm sorry to hear about Frank and the medical issues. Okay. Dane's around. He might check in later. I saw him walking the dog earlier.
Oh, yeah. He'll be in here. He hardly ever fails to check in if he's home. Thank you, Dan. Good to hear you. Anything new from your side other than what you've been working on normally? Over?
No, just nothing. That's just waiting for this 100-degree temperature stuff to break. That's all.
Yeah, we're kind of all getting a little bit worn out on that, although there's good and bad to it, of course. Okay, great to hear you. Thanks for checking in, Dan. King Alpha, no, I was going to say Alpha Hotel 8 Alpha. No, that's not right. K86, no, KM6HK. I'll get it right. K6MYC.
Okay, that's pretty close. 73.
KJ6TYO 1009.
Okay, KJ6TYO 1009. Good evening, Ron. You're kind of weak tonight. Where are you pointed?
Roger. No telling. SWRs are low, so that might be just pointed due east. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
You just came up to about a net.
All right. Well, anyway, about ready to go off, so have a good evening, and thanks for letting me check in tonight. KJ6TYO 1009.
Yeah, I guess I had you in a side null there. And a very deep null. I just moved it 3 degrees, and you popped up about 20 dB. Yeah, very, very clear, nice signal now. And did you have a good weekend without having to haul chicken? Over?
Very good weekend. Very good weekend without hauling the chicken, and I'm going to be off tomorrow, but probably be sitting at the car dealership getting the car serviced and whatever recalls need to be called on it.
Okay, great. Well, good to hear you. Thanks for checking in. Rob, you want to say hello to Ron?
Oh, sure. How you doing, Ron? KJ6TYO, KM6SRR. We'll be seeing you over on the old-time net. Over.
All right, Rob. Good to hear you out there. And I have a critter report. I have 3, I guess they'd be like tame rabbits. Although I came a foot from catching one, but I didn't catch it. But they're tame rabbits from, I guess, across the street. So got 3 different colors, and they're bouncing around out here, and the cat was trying to play with them, but a little bit too fast for the cat.
Really? I bet you my cats would give them a run for the money.
Maybe so, man. You got those cats that go up on the hillside, so they get good exercise. These flatland cats, they're kind of lazy.
I guess so, yeah. We got cats that go up trees like rocket ships. Full bore, 100 miles an hour up the tree. All right, very good, Ron. Nice to hear you. Thanks for checking in. Enjoy your next day off, and we'll talk to you soon again here, maybe on Wednesday. KJ6TYO, K6MYC. Standing by for anybody else in the San Joaquin Valley or anybody within the sound of my voice.
Okay, John, I was saying I need a fish report now and again, but the Central Valley is going to bleed over on us there. K6MWK, KG6USS in Peeling, California here. Copy?
I'm here in L.A., Mike.
I can hear him, but he's not looking this way. He's not calling us. I'm not hearing all the regulars here. My goodness, we're missing a lot of regular people. They, of course, Ken, we don't know. Ken's Sunday nights are usually taken with family and stuff. But we're missing NH6BYH, N6BYH, I'll get it right. Missing Kerry, KC5DTU. Missing 3 or 4 others in here. But I guess we'll have to just move on. I was looking for WA6AAJ or AA6S as well. Very quiet. I guess we'll have to go get Atascadero all by ourselves, Rob, over.
Roger, roger. I'm going to be double listening here to the old-time radio net at 8, over.
Okay, let's get Atascadero out of the way for you. Okay, Ron, coming your way, W6QUI. W6QUI just rotating toward you, should be coming up on you now. W6QUI, Atascadero, K6MYC, Bozo Net, over.
Good evening, Mike, and Smith, if you can hear me. Just taking anyway, you didn't have to turn this way. You do get a lot better, of course. Anyway, good evening. Bozo is 10:55, and I guess I'll check Eric in. We talked to him a little bit earlier. The weather's just not letting him to do anything outside over here. And we're having your kind of weather. You know how that is. And he is KN6EIV, and his Bozo is 1044. So, let's see. Anybody else in the area that wants to check in? Oh, I guess there's no bill. So, anyway, that takes care of that. That was a neat explanation of your boom bounce operation. That was pretty neat. You must have had a lot of fun when you got to use that big dish up there. K6MYC, W6QUI.
Yeah, well, that was also fun. That was professionally we did that. And, of course, there was a few times when it was also loaned out to the HEMS. And I was involved in most of those operations, although I didn't try to get involved in that because I was just there for backup support and stuff like that. But I had my own moonbound station, both at Stanford, that they allowed me put on the property at Stanford, at a 320 element collinear array up for a while. And I owned half of it, took the other half home. In fact, the other station that I mentioned earlier, K6 Charlie Lima Mike, owned the other half of that and did a little bit of moon bounce while we were there because he was my boss at Stanford, so he owned half of that 320 element array. But I took my 160 elements home and ran it at 2 different locations from Saratoga and also from San Jose. So, and then other moon bounce arrays that I built later on in my career. So, I've done moon bounce a lot of different ways on a lot of different antennas. I'm glad you enjoyed the comments there. W6QUI, and we put Eric in here. We'd like to hear Eric's voice one of these days, but I'm sure that'll happen with KN6EIV. Go ahead, Ron, finish it up, and maybe we can shoot it over to Rob. I'm pretty sure. Rob, you're copying Ron, aren't you? Oh, Rob's gone. He's got another net at 8 o'clock that he tries to check into, so he won't be here for a few minutes. Pick it up, Ron. W6QUI at Atascadero, K6MYC.
I'm listening to both, Mike. How you doing there, Ron? W6QUI, KM6SRR.
What bands were you using then?
I think you doubled, Rob. Go ahead again. Rob, go ahead.
W6QUI, KM6SRR.
Hey, good evening, Rob. KM6SRR, W6QUI. Hope you're doing okay over there.
Roger, roger. Just a little warm. You had flutter earlier, and now it's just kind of weak, so that's the signal report. KM6SR, back to net.
Yeah, we know about warm weather. Normally we don't get that here, but we're having what you're having. Let's hope it clears up one of these days.
Yeah, well, I think in the next 3 or 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the rest of the week should be quite cool for you. It's supposed to get down into the 80s for us. We're going to have to drag out the long underwear over.
Yes, I was joking to a friend of mine about that. Got to get my winter clothes out here pretty soon.
not really, but yeah, my question was, I think we doubled. Was your moon bounce most of it on 2 meters up there at Stanford or on other bands?
Well, we did moon bounce on 6 meters, 2 meters, 222 a tiny bit, some on 432 a little bit, and quite a bit on 1296 at various places. So a lot of it, but 99% was 2 meters, yes.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that. Okay, well, that sounds like fun. I had a neighbor that was into that on 70 centimeters. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago, but he was an avid builder and did some moon bounce work, so kind of miss him. He was a neat guy. Anyway, 73 to you in the group, and by the way, I will not be on Tuesday. I got something going on Tuesday night, so I'll try and check in on Wednesday. Over.
Okay, sounds good. We'll look for you on Wednesday then, Ron. Thank you very much for being there tonight. Good to hear you. Give our best to Eric and even to Bill there, KB6WRW, if you happen to run across him. Tell him it'd be nice to see him pop in here from time to time, but I know his schedule is very screwed up, and he's a busy man. Thank you, Ron, 7-3. And hang in there, buddy. It'll be cool in a couple of days here.
Okay, yeah, I'll see Bill tomorrow night. He's the vice president of our radio club, so we got a club meeting tomorrow night, so I'll bug him to get on. 73.
Okay, get out your pointy wooden stick and give him a couple of jabs for us. 7-3. W6QUI, K6MYC, going north to Monterey.
7-3.
Is here.
Good evening, Ken. I'm just rotating toward Monterey, and I don't know whether we're going to hear Scott, WA6LIE, or not over there, but you might turn that way. I'm sure we'll hear Tom, KW6S, and maybe Alpha Hotel, what is it, Alpha Hotel 6. No, that's not right. I got my brain tangled up here. Forgot Lee's call over there, his new one. Anyway, hang in there. Good evening. How are you doing, Ken?
Pretty good. WA60IB. I'm already pointed over towards Scott there. Yeah, doing all right. Just keeping stuff together. It's AF6U, excuse me. AF6U is, I think, is Lee's new call.
You're right. I couldn't get the second letter. I know it was Alpha, but I've been talking about Bill, AH6A, AH8A, Bill Fulkerson, who has passed away now, but it went down to the American Samoa, and there's American Samoa stations been on regularly, and that kind of what triggered my memory. King Henry VIII Tango was on and giving out lots of contacts from American Samoa, but it's not very many hams down there, particularly since Bill passed away. Anyway, Bill was my boss at Stanford, K6CLM, and we had many good times together. Not to mention, he taught me an awful lot about moon bounce and VHF. WA6OIB, K6MYC, and we'll take a standby for Scott.
Yeah, by the way, I goofed that up. It's Alpha Foxtrot 6 United is what his call is.
Alpha Fox 6 United, that's right. I just said I got it tangled up with Alpha Hotel 6 because I'd just been talking about Alpha Hotels.
Well, can you hear me? I'm not at a motel.
Who is this?
This is W6BBS.
Oh, I hear you. Didn't recognize your voice.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Frank. How are you doing?
Yeah, I heard Judy in there. Okay, I'll tell you what. Just let me have the channel here for just a minute. I am going to turn my power down, and I'm going to kick the amp on. So give me a second. Last time we tried to use the amp, I couldn't because it was too close. So anyways, give me a second here. BBS. How's that sound?
You may be overdriving me. Let me turn the blanker off here.
Yeah, you went up 2S units, but you're really distorted.
Okay, is that any better?
The audio's still distorted.
Sounds like Class C, Frank. It didn't get much. I guess it got louder. Ken said it did. I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, now you went down to an S1.
I gave it a little bit more gas. Am I still distorted?
Yes, you're still distorted. I think you may have a VSWR problem, and that's maybe driving the amplifier crazy. To me, you're better copy barefoot.
Okay, now there's 100 watts at the radio.
Yeah, the radio's fine, not distorting. And is it taking the full 100?
Oh, yeah, it takes the full 100, and I've got, well, wait a minute now. Let's see here. Well, the radio's showing a little bit of SWR. That's got to be going through the amp or something. The cable, I got one other cable, two cables, one from the rig to the amp and one from the amp to the line section for the bird. But then where the cable plugs into the bird was just tested 5 minutes ago going up the hill. Because you got to keep in mind, I got, there's 250 feet of different stuff. There's 100 or so feet of inch of 5/8, then about 125 or so of 7/8, and then LMR 400 on both ends. But anyway, the antennas, 1296, 432, and 2 meters are all up on the launcher, up on the hill. And it's only on 3 sections right now, only at 15 feet, because I just now got that finished and came down the hill and tested feed line as I came down the hill and got all the hard lines hooked together. And then I had to actually got 2 jumpers, short jumpers put together just to reach into the shack to get in here. I'm really only completed the outside the shack with that run, but they're up there, and I'm hoping to say that I can hear a little bit better anyway. So W6BBS 72 with a big mouth in DMO7 checking in.
Okay, how does he sound now to you, Ken?
Well, he sounds fine now. I think he's just on the driver now, on the exciter. Is that right? And what amp are you using?
That is the 2-meter amp that you just put the new device in here recently, Ken.
Well, there's something wrong with the bias then, apparently. Either that or, like Mike says, you got a Viswar problem and it's kicking back.
Okay, well, like I say, I haven't checked the cable between the rig and the amp, or the amp and the line section. So there's 2 4-foot cables that haven't been checked. Everything else was. I will look at things, and if I don't find a problem, I'll probably send the amp down for you to take a look at the bias on it, because that's different. You guys got that set up a little different than it was when I was doing them, I believe. Over.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Yeah, it's hard to get that thing off the linear curve unless you really don't bias it at all, and then just push it or over bias it, and it falls off the other side. Of course, the device goes in.
Yeah, I don't know. It was working fine, and then, but everything kind of coincided. I was doing some changes, and it was on a short mast just right above the trailer here, about 10 feet. And you guys said I was distorted. I thought, I'm getting some RF back into it, so I quit using it at that point. And now the antenna's, 200 feet up the hill, so that ain't the problem now. Over.
Right. Okay. Well, check it all out and bring it out. And if there is a problem with the amp, well, bring it back. It's still under warranty.
I know a guy who works on them. Hi.
Yeah, well, we can do it here, too, at my place. Ken, I've got the full setup here with the CCAN power supply and the FT100 as a driver and all the same power meters and stuff here. So wherever it's easier for you to work on it, maybe best to go to the plant, but that's up to you. Over.
Oh, either way, I'd be glad to go up there and do it. Yeah, no problem up there. I just didn't want to be in your way. Okay, carry on with the net. We'll work on this. WA60IB.
Yeah, okay. Well, it may be that he'll find it tomorrow with one of these pieces of cable. Normally, that amps don't normally go into distortion. They usually just quit because they shut down. As you know, you've played with them long enough. I seldom hear one of our amps distorting, so there's something funny going on. But anyway, I've got another one here he could take home and put in the same circuit, so that's another option, short term anyway, while that one's getting fixed. All right, let's see. Good to hear you. One last comment for you, Frank. What's your schedule for tomorrow?
Sorry, I stepped away. I was going to try to swap some cables. I just been arguing with myself in my head. I really want to get down there, but Jen reminded me a while ago that she's not supposed to drive, and she has an appointment at the hospital tomorrow to be checked out to get released back to work. And I think she's fine, but then she says she's still dizzy and having headaches and whatnot. So I hadn't really made a decision yet, and now you're putting me to it. Over.
Oh, no, it's not necessary, but just take care of Jen first. If you get here, fine. If you don't, did you get Robert taken care of today?
Well, we got about half of it. I knew there was no way we could do it all in one day. He had a huge stack, several huge stacks of all that debris out front that he was hauling to the back. And we had a little routine, though, but we got everything that he wanted right now immediately. The rest of it's redwood. He had redwood and then just regular stuff. And so, and as it happened, 2 piles of redwood and then everything else, and then the last pile was redwood, so I was working in between. But we had a little routine. He would back his pickup up at the end of the pile. I would load his pickup up as much as I could get in it, and then he would take off way in the back to a spot he was going, and then I was bucketing around the property and going in between all of his plants and his trees and stuff at the back of his house and putting him piles in back there. So we pretty much got him happy with what he had, and he spent the money that he could today. I didn't get out of there until almost 2 o'clock, but he had a certain budget for it, and we're going to reschedule another time when he figures out what he wants to do with the redwood. Over.
Yeah, okay. So basically, for now, you're not tied up with Robert, and if you can get anywhere, you can get here when you can. But do Jen's thing first, and we'll talk to you. Keep us up to date. Thanks, Frank. W6BBS 72, K6MYC. Thank you.
Yeah, another report. As it happened, Robert and I had a conversation, and it all started with 1 1/4 hardline, that he has one run of 1 1/4 hardline and doesn't think he has connectors for it, yada, yada, and he got us talking about this stuff. So to cut to the chase really quick here, as you know, I brought 2 DEN connectors from your place home yesterday. Well, he had bought it from Swap Meet or something, a bunch of 10-foot jumpers that are in mail on one end, and I don't remember what's on the, but I mean, yeah, I think it's in mail on one end, and it's DEN mail on one end, and I think it's in mail on the other. It doesn't matter what the other end is. But these are 10-foot sections of Superflex with the ends all on them, made up from Andrews. And so we made a little bit of deal, for part of my time, and I brought 2 of those that are brand new, and then a couple other ones that are used, and a couple of connectors and whatnot home. So I now have the jumpers to go between your DEN connectors and the rest of the stuff, and this is beautiful material that he hooked me up with. Over.
Yeah, very good. Sounds like you winner there. Sounds good, Frank. I'm glad that worked.
All right, I'll let you get back to the net, and I may try to change a couple of cables that are in here between these two and just see what happens, or test these at least, because the rig does show a little bit of SWR for some reason. Over.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead, break in when you want another test, and I'll take a standby for, first of all, Lee, if you're, not Lee, but Scott first. WA6LIE, Scott in Monterey, are you there tonight? K6MYC. Okay, I don't think he's organized yet wherever he is in Arizona or whatever. Okay, over to you, Tom. KW6S, K6MYC.
K6MYC, KW6S.
Yeah, there he is. Got you from the back room there. I was just about to move on to the Bay Area. KW6S 610. Good evening. How are you?
Well, good evening. Yeah, you caught me with my radio not set up right. I've been battling some software problems here from the contest this last weekend, and I had it set up for digital only. I was just trying to work KH8T on FT8 on 17, and I halfway did it, and I halfway did it on 10 meters the other day too. So I'm having some problems on some of the HF bands. K6MYC, KW6S 610.
Thank you. Thank you to confirming that we're not the only ones having software and computer problems.
Thank you.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. Seems like every time we turn around they change something, and then Judy has to relearn it.
Yeah, well, I was all set up for the All-Asian contest, and I went and took a shower right before it started, so I'd be all nice and fresh, and I came back, and Windows had jumbled all my COM ports and destroyed my connections to my sound cards. So, as it turns out, by the time I dealt with all of that, I was in no mood to do the contest.
Oh, I hear you. God, what a pain. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, anyway, good to hear you here. You're nice and strong.
I'm happy to hear that, but I'm not the only one that goes crazy with this stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to hear that she's not the only one, but we're not happy to have anybody have these kind of problems. These are unrealistic problems that shouldn't be occurring. We could give you 4 or 5 examples that just happened here this weekend that would blow your mind. Anyway, won't get into that. Nobody needs the aggravation. Good evening to you, Tom, and we'll, of course, look for you tomorrow night on 222. Hopefully things will work on the VHF bands as they are here tonight. Let's take a standby and see if Lee is in there. And then, Lee, you can turn it back over to Tom, and then we'll get you guys wrapped up. I haven't heard WA6JKN for quite a while. He's over there in Gilroy, but he should be checking in as well. So we're looking for you as well, Kevin. AF6 United, K6MYC. Lee? Okay, no lead tonight, Tom. So it looks like you're the man. Over.
Yeah, I guess so. I got an email from Lee earlier tonight, and he said he thought he'd be back on Thursday night on 4:32. So I don't know about Wednesday before that, but he did mention 4:32, and I guess he's got some improvements. So he's hoping for a little better performance. And yeah, I haven't heard WA6JKN at all, but I'll keep poking around trying to get him back on here if I get the chance. Yeah, in the meantime, when I was having all the software problems, I discovered I either have a RF feedback problem or an antenna problem, and I haven't dealt with it yet. And so that one's going to drive me nuts tomorrow, so when I get back to it. But I've got some good ways to figure out which is the problem, and then I pretty well know what I need to do to fix it. Anyway, I'll catch you tomorrow night on both bands, K6MYC, KW6S.
Okay, very good, Tom. Thanks much for being there tonight, and we'll catch you tomorrow. I'll look forward to it. Let me go a little bit further up for the Bay Area. That should be 285 or so.
287.
287, close enough. I'm doing this blindly. I'm just pushing the button. Judy's watching the readout here. Bay Area, Bozo Net, 2 meters, standing by here. K6MYC in the group, over.
N5 NPD 1129. 1090.
Okay, I got you, Brett. Hang on. Who was the other one? Was that you, Gary?
USL, Gary, WB6791090.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Let me get Brett out of the way here, and then we'll go over to you and see who else is in the Bay Area there. Good evening, Brett. Booming signal as always. N5NPD, 1129. Okay, 6MYC. Bozo, go ahead.
Good evening, Mike and Judy. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a roaster here all weekend. It's been hot, and of course, my shack's out here in the garage, and it faces west. So once around 2 or 3 o'clock comes in, I get the full sun, and it stinks. Even with that swamp cooler blowing on me, it doesn't do any good. I think my hair is full of salt sweat over.
Okay. Well, we're doing better than you are then. We've got the air conditioner blowing on us, and we're facing to the east. And the air conditioner is blowing between Judy and I right onto the 2-meter amplifier. So we're in Fat City here, buddy.
Oh, good for you. Good for you, not me. Yeah, I'm ready for winter over.
Okay. Yeah, it could get old after a few months of this 100-degree stuff, can't it? All right, well, good to hear you. And, of course, we'll look for you tomorrow on 6 and rest of the week on other bands. But thanks for popping in here this evening. You probably want to get out of there, get out of that hot shack there. N5NPD, K6MYC, 73.
73.
Okay, and over to you, Gary. WB6WNI, not Los Gatos, Campbell, San Jose, K6MYC.
K6MYC, WB6WNI, 1090. Good evening to you and Judy and Mike. I have an interesting thing to tell you about, and it was at a flea market today. We had what used to be Foothill, and now it's the West Valley Flea Market. So I held in my hand, but I couldn't afford it, your 23-centimeter 22-element beam. Yes, I saw it, and I was holding it, but I couldn't afford it. So I think that beam was one of the high points of that flea market. That's how bad, you know. So when you say a beam can outdo everybody else, there you go. But yes, it's a fascinating beam. As I told the fellow, I have nothing on 1296, so maybe I should get the radio before the beam. K6MYC, WB6WNI.
Yeah, well, probably should get the radio first. If you don't have the ICOM 9700, then there's no point in having the antenna. Although it would have been a good deal if you'd gotten it. What was the price? What was the asking price? Over.
Well, the asking price was 100, and you know darn well that was put there to negotiate, right? 100, because you're going to negotiate. I actually know the guy. His Bozo number is 828, and he would have probably cut me a deal, but I told him to save it and not to get rid of it, because someday, who knows, I might have such a radio.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's not a bad price. It's not a good price. A good price would be maybe $50, $60. They are a lot more expensive than that nowadays, but mostly because of labor. Material is minimal, but there's a lot of labor in that one, of course, because it's stamped out. It's easy to put together, but there's more labor to build it and fabricate it, because we have to have the stamping. That's actually laser cut, but it's done outside. We don't have a strong enough laser to do it. We have a laser printer and a cutter, but it isn't good enough to go through 1/8-inch aluminum. Anyway, that's the story. But I think they listed about 180. I'm not even sure what the list price is anymore. It's more than it should be, but I can't do anything about it. With today's situation, Gary, over.
No, Mike, you know what? You're thinking like I do. It's like, and my wife, why don't you just double that number? And it's almost that. It's $350. But yeah, so 100 isn't too bad. And it was. I looked at it. I said, that is a beautiful design, and now I understand how you got those nice sharp corners. Nothing like a laser. Anyway, Mike, I'll let you back so long in the net here. But anyway, 73. K6MYC, WB6WNI.
Yeah, right here, Gary. Well, I have 8 of those, 2 wide and 4 high, up on the tower just behind me about 30 feet away at 100 feet. So that's what I use when I call the net on 1296. They're pretty narrow, but on 1296 you need all the gain you can get. But I've got 8 of them up there, and they do play very well. Very easy to put together, and every one of them exactly the same in terms of performance because of the stamped elements and so on. So it's a good one, and you'll be very pleased when you get one or something like it. 7-3, Gary. Let's see who else we got in here tonight. Anybody else in the Bay Area for the Bozo Net? K6MYC.
KB6PA.
Okay, I heard you, Oliver. Hang on a second. Somebody underneath you. Who was the other one? Go ahead. Who was the other station that called in, please? I think it might be you. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. Was that you, Mike? Who was the station that called in to the Bozo Net just now? K6MYC. Over. Well, he'll probably come back, hopefully, Oliver. Good to hear you. KB6BA, and give us your Bozo number so Judy can hear it. K6MYC, and welcome back. You've been missing for a week or so.
Yeah, hello. K6MYC, KB6BA 900. Yeah, I got back from my New Mexico trip, and then 2 more microwave radio club meetings past week, so now I'm back to the normal routine. I also went to that nice flea market today, and I saw that beam that the other fellow was talking about. I'm pretty well set with my gear, but it's fun to see all the equipment, and nice day for it. K6MYC, KB6PA, over.
Yeah, very good, Oliver. Okay, well, you're welcome back, and it's been good to have you because we've been a little bit light on check-ins from the Bay Area. And a little bit light is an understatement. Right tonight we had 5 check-ins. Let's see, we're missing 1 yet. Otherwise, we'd have the full 6. We have a complement of 6 people in Coarse Gold, California, which you could take the whole population and have them crowd together, and they can fit on the head of a pin. And they completely smoke the Bay Area. So it's a sad thing that the Bay Area can't muster more check-ins than Coarse Gold. But we've got a bunch of amateur, not fanatics. These are good operators, all good guys and good people in Coarse Gold, and they're very, very reliable and very consistent. And it's sure good to have them. Hopefully we'll get more Bay Area people tonight than just 3. Anyway, very welcome back from New Mexico, and maybe you can share some stories with us on the next net here. I don't think you have 222 or 6. Maybe we'll catch you on 6, but certainly 1296 Tuesday and Wednesday we'll see you back here again. KB6BA for your final. K6MYC, over.
Yeah, I'll be on 1296. Yeah, I gather that Jim Klitzing is in his place in the Azores for a while, and I haven't heard Ed Inglis, WA6EXX, although maybe he was on in my absence. And I did not hear KB6WFC locally this evening. KB6PA, over.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard Ed. Ed's been in and out a little bit non-regular. I shouldn't say unreliable. He's just been not regular, but he's still working out some details, and he's had some company and yada yada. So he's been intermittent here. PQL should be back. I understand that he's either on his way back or will be leaving shortly. The last word I had was 3 or 4 days ago. He was packing or had packed up and was ready to go. I may be wrong on that, but that's what I got. So we should see him before the end of September here, and that'll help to fill in the check-ins from the Bay Area, Oliver. Anyway, thanks much. We'll take another standby, and maybe we can copy KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie and maybe some others in the Bay Area. K6MYC Bozo Net, 2 meters, Bay Area, please, over.
WA6AXX.
Okay, good evening, Ed. And Judy is staring at me, waiting for your number.
Oh, sorry, Judy. WA6AXX773. And yeah, so everything's good, doing fine. Just a comment. So this coming Tuesday, we have a comedy show at Montalvo, so I won't be checking in. And then Saturday night, I think it's this coming Saturday, we're going to be at Davies Symphony Hall. I don't remember who the performer is, but so yeah, so I'm kind of missing some nets now and then, but when I'm home, I'm here, unless I'm sleeping. K6MYC, WA6AXX.
Yeah, I've been sleeping a lot more than normal, too. I don't know what the hell hit me this morning. I got done with breakfast. I sat down in my easy chair in front of the TV, which was not on. I had my Bootsy kitty, my female kitty, and she wanted to sit with her daddy. So she climbed up in my lap, and we sat there in the chair, and the next thing I know, I was sleeping. She had gotten up and left because I was making too much heat. And the next thing I know, I heard the bird chirp that said it was 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I listened to that, and I fell asleep again, and the next time I heard the bird chirp, it was noon. And I thought, well, this is ridiculous. I better get up. So I got up at noon. Over.
Yeah, when it's warm, boy, it's hard for me to, like, do anything. And it's not super hot, but I think it went up to like 85 today, which not oppressive at all. But yeah, it's just hard to stay awake when it's really warm. So that's it. K6MYC, WA6AXX.
Okay, well, I guess we'll hear you tomorrow night on 222, and then Tuesday you'll be missing to the comedy show in Montalvo. That's I remember that. I don't know if I ever got to that facility in Montalvo, but we lived in Saratoga for quite a few years, and heard about it a lot, but I don't think I ever got there. If I did, I can't remember it. But anyway, it should be a lot of fun there. Thanks for checking in here and letting us know you're still part of the living. WA6AXX773. K6MYC Bozo Net, 2 meters, beaming the Bay Area. Anybody else?
AB6SR 807.
Hey, yeah, there he is. Good evening, Stan. AB6 Sugar Radio, K6MYC, and you're sounding good tonight. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, Mike, and good evening to Judy there. With a little bit warmer at the it's above me. It's about 2 miles away maximum. It was 90 here today, but a bit warmer than yesterday. Lovely start to the day. Went out walking. It was about 60 degrees. I thought it was going to be like yesterday, but it warmed up a lot more. It's cooled down now, about 76 or so. Yeah, haven't done much. I was out at a party last Sunday, so I wasn't on then. Wednesday, I think I fell asleep in the evening, so that explains that for me. Should be on tomorrow on 6. Nothing much else from here. Hope Frank is recovering well from his dental surgery there, and he was coming in nice and strong earlier on. Hope his wife's getting better too. So nothing much more from me here. Good signal from you too, of course. K6MYC, AB6SR 807.
Yeah, fine, Stan. AB6SR, K6MYC, and fine on Frank. Well, Frank was just running 100 watts tonight, but he does have the antenna up, and it's about 40 or 50 feet higher up on the hill than it was before. And he tried to run the amp, but we've got some issue with the amp. It sounded like it was running in Class C, some distortion in the amp. So before too long, maybe by next week or next Bozo Net 2 meters here, you're going to hear a rip-roaring signal from Frank with the antennas up higher. And I think that also, I think the antennas and the stuff he's working on will also make the beacons stronger and higher as well. I can't remember all the specifics particularly, but he's been running feed line like a madman up this hill inch and 5/8. He's got 2 big runs of that, and some inch and a quarter, and some 7/8, and all to get up the hill till he's got a clearer shot to the Bay Area and around the area. Okay. Stan, 7-3, thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow night on 6 meters. Look forward to it. AB6SR, K6MYC, last call for the Bay Area.
WB6JNT.
Hey, there's this number 6. Your number 6 from Course Gold, Dane. Congratulations. We got everybody but Dr. Dan tonight.
Well, I can probably scout him up.
I doubt it. He's probably busy. And if he isn't busy, he doesn't want to be doing this stuff. The man is stretched every which way but loose. Anyway, good to hear you. Could you give Judy your number?
Oh, hi, Judy. 107 WB6JNT and from DMO7.
There you go. We did talk to Dan earlier. Dad said you were going to be in here, but you were just out walking a dog. So he said you'd be in here. So good to hear you. And I want to move along because we've had kind of a long, slow net here, but we won't keep you, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow on 6 and on the other bands through the week here. WB6JNP, K6MYC.
Okay, we'll catch you tomorrow. WB6JNP, Course Gold.
Okay, I'm going up toward Rancho Oakley. N6 Radio Oscar, N6RO, N6 Rancho Oakley, K6MYC, calling and listening.
K6MYC, N6RO, Bozo 835. High temperature 99. It's 90 in the shack, but I have my little personal swamp cooler keeping me cozy. And dinner was mahi-mahi sauteed in garlic butter and lemon juice. Yum, yum. And I'm at basket case at the moment because I've only had 10 hours sleep since Thursday due to the contest. Anyway, we did quite well. N6RO.
Oh, good. So you did well in the contest. That's good. I know KW6S was going to get on, and he went to get ready to get on. He took a nice shower, got all freshened up, walked in the shack, and his whole computer was scrambled, and he lost all his inputs because of the Microsoft glitch or something. And he got so frustrated he didn't even run in the contest, I don't think. So I'm glad you did well. And okay, on your temperature, you were just about the same as we were today. We pushed around, it was 98 at noon, and honestly, we didn't look at it later, but it was probably 103, 104 where it was predicted to be. But you were still pretty close to where you were. Beautiful day from that standpoint, and we got our pool all cleaned up. Judy did a wonderful job of spraying off and cleaning off the filter elements in the pool cleaner and the filter, and boy, we put that baby back together yesterday and let it run all night, and the pool looked like crystal clear this morning, so it's nice to see a nice, clean, sparkly pool again. N6RO, K6MYC.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've had some water issues here. Right now my main pump is tripped a circuit breaker, and I'm too lazy to go out and fix it. But I can get through the night without water. The contest, we worked nearly 2,000 Asian stations. The high bands were just really good, including 10, 15 especially, and I did pretty good on 80 meters. What else can I say? Our main problem was the power line noise, just incredible on Friday and Saturday. It let up a little bit today, despite the high temperature. So we're happy with that, and I'm going to sleep a couple days in 6RO.
Okay, we'll try to check in and wake up for a few minutes, set your alarm, and wake up tomorrow night for 222 and 6 meters, and then we'll let you go back to bed. I understand your exhaustion there. All right, Ken, thank you. And congratulations. I talked on 40 meters last night. I got on with K0JU, Doug back there, and he said he just had a ball on 15 meters. He got on 15 from his place in Colorado. He has a 4-element Yagi put up. He just had a ball. He said, I got on there. He said, I felt like I was the king of the world. They were calling me like I was the long-lost last station in the world to work. And he was just so happy about the performance. So it sounded like the bands were just spectacular for you from that standpoint. And he just said he had so much fun. He hadn't had that much fun on 15 in years. 7-3, we'll see you tomorrow night, Ken. N6 Radio Oscar, K6MYC. Good evening.
Right, and our 15-meter total is 700 QSOs. Okay, I think...
About a third of what you work total. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Roger. Anybody else before I go to Sacramento?
WB6ISO.
Okay, WB6ISO. Hey, Dennis. Let's see here. That's 328.
328.
Yeah, we're coming up your way now, Dennis. Take a transmission. Give Judy your Bozo number, and we're off and running here.
Yeah, you're running just a wee bit late up this way. It's getting close to 9 o'clock, man. What you been doing? Anyway. Hello, Judy. WB6ISO Bozo 86. I got some check-ins also for you. KA6OSX. Mr. Kent 160 would like to be checked in. N1, Papa, that's Mr. Dave, number 336 would also like to be checked in. I also have one more for you there, Judy. Kilowatt Echo 6 Quebec Romeo, KE6QR. His name is Gary, number 177. He is portable at the present time in Isleton, and this is WB6ISO Bozo 86, over.
Where are you pointed, Dennis, and what radio are you on tonight, over?
Same radio, and your audio, and listen to Kent, the distortions and things going on. It's just the band conditions are just the way they are. Your signal is kind of really fading in and out, and would listen to Kent same way. But anyway, that's the best I could do with the conditions, over.
Okay. I'll just give me a break and I'll give Judy all the numbers.
Yeah, we've been a little bit, quite a bit of a fade going back and forth. And,
I think 326 or 328 was it, Dennis? Give me 326, 328 again. You're doubling with me, Dennis. 326 or 328 was it?
I think it's just conditions, I suppose, there, Mr. Kent. And how are you? Yeah, no, you're sounding perfect. When you was talking to Mike, you had a lot of distortion and same thing. You know, it's just fading. You was pointing the other direction, but now that you're pointing this way, you're 100% super copy, over. Yeah, so if Mike has problems with hearing me, you might be able to relay to him if he's copying you any better there. But the other word that I have, just for information, and you might relay this on to him also, Ken, if he has a problem. When I was talking to Dave, N1PPP, they apparently have got a fire there in the Clear Lake area, apparently pretty bad. And I thought he said they were like 30 homes that burnt, 30 homes involved.
Did you get that, Mike? Mike, did you copy Dennis?
Well, I'm getting bits and pieces, but I don't think Dennis is talking to me. He's talking to KA6OSX in Clear Lake, over.
Actually, he was chatting with me on another antenna, and I can't hear you on that.
Yeah, but I'm copying. I've got everything except one number from Dennis. I can't tell whether it's 326 or 328.
Yeah, Okay, I think he's hearing you okay. He said there may be a fire in the Clear Lake area.
And 177, over.
EPP up there. Anyway, I'll let you go.
Yeah, it was a perfect double with Dennis. Apparently Dennis isn't hearing you.
Yeah, he can't hear me when I'm pointed at you.
Okay. Mike, did you get the numbers from me okay?
No, I did not. I'm missing one number. I got 336 and 160 okay and 177, but I didn't remember. Was it 328 or 326, and who was that?
I don't know. I was not given that number. I was not reported that number. I'm Bozo 86, and I just had the three numbers. That other number, I have no idea who that was, over.
Okay, I must have misheard you. Never mind. If you didn't give me a 326 or 328, I must have been hearing things. I got the other numbers all okay, but with difficult copy. And then, of course, I cannot hear KA60SX, so that was a one-way conversation. And you were doubling with me and doubling with Ken here. Anyway, I think we got everything okay, Ken. Thanks much. KN6RO, K6MYC.
All right, good night.
Good night. Okay, Dennis, we got everything okay. Thanks much, and give our best wishes to Kent and Dave over there. And thanks to Gary. I guess Gary's in Isleton, so he's real rough copy with me here tonight. WB6ISO 73 K6MYC.
Okay, Mike, very good. Yeah, he's portable over there in the Isleton area. Did you also get the report that Dave reported about the major fire that they're having in the Clear Lake area at this time, over?
Okay, where?
Fire in Clear Lake.
A major fire in Clear Lake. Okay, well, we'll check on that later. Sorry to hear that. Is anybody that we're talking to here in danger, over?
Not that I'm aware of. That was just a report that I got from him earlier, and he said there was something like 30 homes that was burnt to the ground up there.
Oh, well, don't they have helicopters up there?
That I don't know. I have no further reports other than that report that he was giving, so I thought I'd just pass that along to you. Okay, sorry about the conditions, and well, I'll try to catch up with you next time. And Mr. Ken, N6RO, if you're still listening, thanks for relaying. I appreciate it. Take care.
All righty.
Okay, 73 WB6ISO.
Are you pointed at me tonight or somewhere else?
No, I am pointing at you. I am pointing at you there. Your signal is nowhere close to where it normally is. A lot of flutter, and your signal is down quite a bit also, over.
Yeah, you're just barely above the noise here. You're so weak, which is unheard of because normally you're 20 or 30 over 9. So I just can't believe you're pointed right. It's either you or me. Maybe I'm not pointed right.
I think you're not pointing right. I double-checked my headings. I'm right dead on you. Power output, everything's fine down here, but no, it's just conditions, or you're just not pointing directly this way, whatever.
Okay. Must be conditions. I thought I heard Bill in there, too. Bill, was that you, KO6KD?
Yeah, you're S9 plus over here, Mike. You sound fine. Hello, Dennis.
Good evening there, Bill. Okay. WB6 clear and good luck fly.
Okay, very good, Bill. Good to hear you. Give us your Bozo number, Bill, and tell me whether you've heard Darren on here tonight.
Yeah, Darren should be showing up, so should John. This is KO6KD, Bozo number 776, over.
Oh, we got that. Have you heard Darren?
Yes.
I didn't get that answer.
QSL, Roger,
You're fading right down into the noise here. It's unbelievably bad conditions here on 2 meters. All right, Roger. Darren, KJ6KFB, are you with us here? All right, well, we'll sign Darren in, 756. And we'll go ahead and get John in here. KR6MR, K6MYC. This should be close, John, over.
Roger, Mike. Doing very well.
K6MYC in the group, KR6MR, Bozo 759, over.
Yeah, QSL, good copy on you, no flutter, everything's stable as a rock. It's funny that it would be so good for you and so tough on everybody else. Bill's up and down like a rocket. Dennis was going from warbly to readable to almost gone, and here you are. KR6MR, and thank you for being there, K6MYC. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, the fire at Clear Lake is called the Boyle Fire. It's about 75, 76 acres, and it's down off of the Cache Creek Apartments off Dam Road, over.
Yeah, well, with all that water and one helicopter, you'd think they could have kept it under control. We had a big fire, a little fire up here that could have been a big one. Up near Coarse Gold, it only burned about 10 acres, but there was helicopters dipping into 3 different ponds to get water, and it seemed like they had no end of water up there, so why they lost 10 homes is beyond me, over.
Yeah, well, it depends on how. There's some pretty shaky looking homes up there. They can go up just by sneezing at them. They said it's 10% contained, so they do have an handle on it.
I missed the last comment.
It is 10% contained. 10% contained, so it's not completely crazy.
I think you're saying 10% contained. All of a sudden, you're getting the same weird QSB that everybody else has gotten. Every other word is missing, over.
Yeah, he said 10% contained, and it's not that crazy, KM6SR, really?
It's not what, that crazy?
Yeah, they've got a little bit of a handle on it, he says, over.
Yeah, okay. 10% contained isn't much of a handle. He's faded right into the noise here.
There's Darren, 756, over.
Darren, what?
Darren is here. He's waiting for you. KR6MR.
Well, we're waiting for Darren. Rob, why don't you give Darren a call?
Yeah, Darren gave his call sign out there. How you doing, Darren? KJ6KFB, KM6SR for Mike, over.
You got to give me a longer transmission, Darren. I barely get the antenna on you, and you quit, over. QSL, we've got you checked in. I was just trying to hear you. Conditions are really funny here at the end of the evening. They're all fluttery and weak from you guys. Hopefully, and Rob's doing better than I am tonight. That's really funny. It must be coming in layers, Rob. It must be, because he's just super weak here. I had to go right on him to hear him at all. All right, let's see. Darren, thank you very much. Let me see if I can pick up the boys in Reading. Let's see if we can hear anything from the fellows in Reading.
Boy, it's almost kicked on an amplifier there.
Okay, you're doing clear now, too. It's up and down, isn't it? Okay.
He said he kicked the amplifier off, so he turned it back on, over.
Well, that makes a difference. Okay, let me try Reading here. Reading, KD6SW, Kilo Delta 6 Sugar Whiskey.
I'm hearing you here.
That's me. That's me feeding back.
Oh.
That's normal. Okay. When I'm loud here and I lean into it, it feeds back.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. KD6SW, KD6 Sugar Whiskey, K6MYC. Are you there, Rick?
I believe so. KD6 Shortwave, Reading, number 145.
Yep, QSL, we've got you very, very light, but you're Q5 at the moment, Rich. Thanks so much for being there. Sorry we're a little bit late here. Let's see if we can hear Jerry tonight. KO6HS, Kilo Oscar 6, Hotel Sierra, K6MYC. How about it, Jerry?
Roger, Roger, KO6HS 230 through the static. Over.
Okay, well, we don't have any static on you. You're like in the shack with us. What a difference. A funny band tonight. Some stations are very strong like you, and Rich is way down. Other people are way down from who they should be. Good to hear you, Jerry. Hopefully things are well there. Over. Okay, he went down in the noise on that one, but I heard very well, so I think you're doing okay. All right, we'll let you go. Thanks for being there as always, Jerry. Appreciate your consistency here with you and Rich. Thank you very, very much. And one of these days, maybe we'll get some stable conditions here. We get away from the solstice a little bit, we'll be okay. KO6HS 73 K6MYC. Okay, 73, Rich, if you're copying, 7373, KD6 Sugar Whiskey, 73. See you tomorrow on 6 meters, I hope, K6MYC.
Golf, Golf, Yankee, WB6GGY, WB6GGY, Bozo 884, Bozo 884, WB6GGY, over.
Yeah, perfect, Phil, considering it's very fluttery and very weak, but we got you. WB6GGY 884 K6MYC. Good to hear you. Not at all the normal signal strength, but nobody is. It's either up or it's down. But thanks so much for calling in. Have you heard Greg tonight? WA6HNA. Have you heard Greg? Over.
I have not heard Greg as of yet. I have not heard from Greg as of yet. A very rapid flutter. 7373, you and Judy have a good evening. 73.
Okay, and I'll try to see you tomorrow on 40. I've been really oversleeping on 40 meters in the morning. We haven't been getting up till about 8:30. Just waking up out of nice warm weather stupors, I guess. Anyway, we'll see if we can catch you tomorrow on 40 meters, Phil. Thanks for checking in here, 73s. WB6GGY, bested Barbara in the background, K6MYC.
Go, Greg.
All right. And everybody else before we go to Nevada here, because we're losing the band very quickly, K6MYC, Bozo Net. I hear K6 Whiskey India Sugar, your Bozo number, Paul?
Yeah, number 637. I lots of QSB tonight. The band's up and down here, anywhere between S3 and S8 there, Mike. Back to you from K6WIS in the foothills.
Okay, boy, it's marginal about Q3. Readability 3, Paul. Very poor conditions tonight. It's not you, it's the band. The band is really acting up funny here. Up in this direction, due north, it's really funny. But thanks so much for calling in. Good to hear you. We'll look for you tomorrow on 222 with hopefully much better signals. 73, Paul. K6 Whiskey India Sugar 637 K6MYC. Okay, I'm going to go to Nevada. I don't know whether we're going to hear Nevada at all tonight.
24, okay.
Who is that?
Roger.
Okay. I heard somebody say Roger. Who was that? Okay, Nevada. Maybe I got an antenna that's off in a different direction or something here. We're just not hearing where the dam tonight. QRZ Nevada, KD6 Sugar Whiskey. I'm sorry, KD6BK. No, that's not right. KD6. What the hell's Richard's call?
EQ.
EQ. No, that's not right. What is it?
KD6BQ.
Yeah, you're loud, Rob.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Mike. KD6NYC, and whoever else is listening, KD6BQ, number 249 in Nevada, over.
Okay, we got you now. It's Q3 to Q4. I must have something wrong here, Rob, but I must be pointed in the wrong direction. I went back and forth on the guys, though. They peak up and then go out, peak up and go out as I go across them. So I can't figure out what's going on here. Anyway, good evening, Richard. Let me shoot it to Rob and have him continue with you for a moment, and I'll see if I can peak on you. KM6SRR, K6MYC.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you usually run the preamp on the 9700 on 2 meters because your preamp is off?
Number 249. I can chat for a minute, Mike, if that gives you a chance to keep up on me. Hope I'm not doubling the loss here. But anyway, power just came back on about 30 minutes ago. We've been out for about 30 hours. And fires on the other side of the valley. Unfortunately, my view out the...
Well, while you fiddle with that, W6BBS recheck.
The hillside on the eastern side of the Sierras. Now my view out from the dining room is the...
Stand by, Frank.
And stars still...
Roger.
Okay, very good, Richard. On some of that, we had some local chatter here, so I didn't know all of it, but you're going in and out on me. You come up real strong and then you just fade right out. Really, really poor conditions. I swung the antenna back and forth and I peaked on you, and I know I'm pointed right, but the conditions are just flaky as hell. Anyway, 249, we got you. Stand by a second. Let me see what Frank has. Go ahead, Frank.
Oh, no, you can carry on with him, Mike. I did not realize. I thought you were playing with your preamp. When you get done checking people in, I'll give you a report.
Okay, I've got the preamp on now. That usually makes a little difference, but not massive. But I did have it off because I was playing with a noise breaker, and I think I pushed the wrong button here, Aaron, over. I guess Aaron's not hearing me.
No, you're up right now, so I can hear you loud.
I'm here, Mike.
Yeah, you're fine now, Richard. Go ahead, and then we'll stand by for the others, over.
Yeah, Roger. I was just saying, we just got power back about 30 minutes ago, and we've been out for about 30 hours. And fortunately, all the fire was on the other side of the valley. Unfortunately, now my view out the window is, instead of being the lake and the beautiful forested hillside, is now the lake and the charred hillside. So big forest fire up here, big pain in the neck there, and really sad. You know, I'm sad about my view, but a lot of people may have lost their houses, so I guess I don't have anything to complain about. K6MYC, KD6BQ, number 249.
Okay, Richard, I was hoping that forest fire thing was starting to fade out, but it seems like it's really peaking here at the end of the year. Little fires popping up everywhere. I don't know what's causing these. We don't seem to have any lightning or anything. Any idea what the cause of that was?
The story that I've heard is a propane tank caught fire and blew up over at the ranger station at Davis Creek State Park, over.
Did you copy that, Mike? Over.
I heard that a ranger station propane tank blew up. That's inexcusable, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the story we heard on the news. I don't have the final answer, but Yeah, what's worse is we were sitting in the living room and we saw the puff of smoke at the ranger station. I called the 911 right away, told them there was a fire over on the other side of the valley in the mountains. And they responded not as fast as I would like, but they got there. But within the space of an hour, it was spread all over the hillside.
Oh, that's a shame. That's really too bad. I have never heard. I mean, I know it happens because you know it's going to happen, but a propane tank exploding is hard to believe. And, of course, your temperatures are not such up there that it would be caused by 100, 115, 100-degree temperatures or something. So a propane tank blowing up just seems awful freaky that somebody wouldn't have caught it. There has to be a leak. There had to be a leak that nobody smelled for some reason. Well, thanks for information, Richard. We're sorry that you have a disaster up there, but it sounds like they got it under control, even though some damage was done to your forest and other pieces of property. Let's see if Richard, if Larry is here. N7 Whiskey Tango. How about it, Larry? No, Larry. Let's try for Daniel. KE7 UQL. Go ahead, Daniel.
Well, thank you. Here is 272. This is 57 UQL, over.
Yeah, good. A little fluttery, but Q5, Daniel, go ahead. How is it with you? Are you free of the wildfires?
Yeah, it's another mountain range over for me. Yes, I have a lot of distance from me to that location, over. And I was about 30 miles east of my QTH doing some POTUS today, over.
Okay, yeah, the closest fire 35 miles east of you. Okay, well, we're copying most everything. It's just up. The signals are just up and down tonight, and I kept going back and forth with the antenna thinking that I'm going to find a different path, but I think the antenna's okay. We just got really flaky conditions. Maybe the antenna is too high or something here tonight. Who knows? Rob seems to be doing pretty well. How are you doing with Daniel, Rob, over?
Doing okay with Daniel, doing better with Richard, and I'm not pointing to the normal place for him either, and I'm getting a lot of flutter also, so I think it's just general bad conditions, over.
Yeah, it must be. Okay. Anyway, Daniel, good to hear you. We'll look for you, of course, tomorrow night on 222. Sorry we're running a little late here tonight. I guess it's a little bit after 9 o'clock here. I was hoping to be finished up by 9 o'clock, but we didn't make it. Anyway, 73 said Daniel, and we'll see you tomorrow night on 222. Richard, we'll see you on 6, of course. KD6BQ for the final, K6MYC. Roger, Roger, dead.
Okay, we'll be looking for you on 222, Mike. Thanks for the chatter. KD7UQL.
Roger, 73, Daniel, 73, way down in the mud there. 73's my friend. Hopefully conditions will be better tomorrow night. Good night for now. KE7UQL and 6 KD6BQ. K6MYC clear. Anybody else before we close the Bozo Net and go down south? You want to go to get Eddie?
Okay, Roger.
Well, while you guys are rotating, you want to report?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in bizarro land here. The network analyzer, as I came down there, you put the antennas up, everything just flat, just the way I expect it to be, just fine and dandy. All the way, and then I checked the rest of the cabling through the amp and everything else. Network analyzer says it's just fine. Plug it into the rig says I got 7-to-1 VisWAR. So I bypassed the amp. Is there a problem with the amp relay? 7-to-1 VisWAR. Okay, there's something wrong with the network analyzer. So I recalibrated the VNA, which is like a 10-minute process, Went through that and went back and tested. It says it's dead flat. This radio says they're 7-1, and I am so tired right now. I got up and went to Roberts, and the minute I got home, I started working on this, trying to get an antenna back on the air for the net tonight, and I'm going to quit thinking about it for tonight. K6MYC in the net, W6BBS.
I think that's a really good idea, Frank. Get out of bizarro land, would you? That's not a good place to visit on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Over.
Yeah, the only thing I haven't done is test something I knew intentionally was bad and see what this analyzer says and make sure that it's not just decided that everything's good. But, yeah, it's just the bizarro world here. So I'll figure it out. Anyways, I'm going to say goodnight, and I will catch up to you sometime tomorrow. Yeah, I just went over and talked to Jen, and she was like, well, you know, if you really need to go to work, I guess I could drive. But I could tell that she did not like the idea, so I guess I better drive her.
Frank, and give our best wishes and regards to Jen. Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night, Judy. Good night, Mike. Good night, Rob, and anybody else. W6BBS.
Yeah, go ahead. Get out of the shack. Go in the house and take it easy. Forget it. It'll be so obvious in the morning you'll kick yourself, but don't worry about it. See ya. W6BBS, and you got a count, Judy? 37 tonight, Rob, but I'm pointed down toward Porterville, so let's see if Eddie's there. KE6BK with KM6SRR, K6MYC. Eddie? Go ahead, Rob.
Eddie, KE6BK, you on tonight for the 2-meter Bozo Net? KM6SRR with K6MYC, standing by. Eddie, KE6BK. Nothing, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not hearing him either, so I guess we're done for the evening here. We're all kind of washed out. Hard night with propagation here. You didn't notice it, but boy, we were getting killed here. Unbelievably bad. It sounded like 1296 here. That's what's I had 1296 the other night. It was like this. All righty. Good night, Aaron, and thanks for the help. Thanks for reminding me I didn't have the preamp on. That did make things a little better, of course, but not markedly, because it was the QSB that was bothering us. This rapid flutter, missing word every other syllable, was more trouble than it was worth trying to copy to the speaker. I might have been able to do a little better if I'd had the Bluetooth on, but not significant. And if Judy can hear what's going on also, so we'd like to do it through it. We got a nice little speaker that Frank got for us. It's good quality. It's not too hard to copy from. So there you are. Aaron, take it and shoot it back to Rob and anybody else that's here, and then we'll be clear. 37, Rob, KM6SRR with K6USY to take it, K6MYC.
Yeah, very good, Mike. Yeah, things are just kind of wonky tonight, and I'm waiting to hear what I sound like to your radio right now, because wherever you got your antenna, getting some interesting multipath on you. Sounds kind of interesting, but yeah, I'm kind of noticing the same thing on your spectrum scope with me too. It's only showing the highs and the lows, and there's a hole in the mids. There it goes. Yeah, you must have moved just a little bit. Yep. So I think we're getting a little bit of multipath there, and yep, now I'm 9 over, so very good. But yep, we'll throw it up to Rob, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow night on 6 meters. K6USY, that's Mike 06.
All right, thank you, Aaron. KM6SR here. Yeah, Mike, I was listening to you pointed up to Nevada, and you sounded really weird, kind of a double distortion coming in or something, so it's just lousy tonight. I only have 35, so I must have missed some in the beginning of the net there, over.
Well, let me give you the first few here. We had John, 711. He was in and out very quickly.
Okay, that's one I didn't have.
get? Did you get John?
No, I didn't get him. So that's one. Only short one now.
Okay. Then
982 Daryl.
Go ahead.
704 Terry. 856 Dave. 971 Dave. 432. 900. 247. 1079.
Hang on.
Yeah, somebody before Dave I didn't copy. Over.
Okay, we had Terry 704, and then after Terry was who? Who was
Dave.
it? Dave, what's his number?
856.
856. No.
WA6 LOL.
LOL is that 856?
Yeah, and I didn't get Terry 704. So those are the two I didn't get, 711 and 704. Thank you.
Okay, we got it then. Good deal. All right, we're done. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And thanks for all the fun tonight. It was interesting in the beginning when we were talking about moon bounce, and that went downhill from there, didn't it? 730 K6MYC.
Good night, Mike and Judy, K6MYC, KM6SR 73. And good night, Aaron, K6USY, KM6SR 73.
Check your phone, Rob. And Mike, we were joking that Dave needs to go get his extra, and he can ask the moon bounce questions on 40 meters.
There you go.
So if you can hear me, Dave, go get your extra and then bug Mike on 40 meters. All righty, good night, everybody. K6USY.
Hey, good night, Aaron. I think I heard Frank in there, KM6SR, standing by.
Yeah, if you check your phone, you don't good. Okay. Anyways, if you check your phone, I just sent you a picture of my Amazon page here with all the information. It's not like they have a model number or something on this thing, that power supply, but it's a 72-volt, 1,000-watt power supply. And I sent you a picture to your phone, and if you do a search on Amazon for that, you'll find the same one. Over.
Roger, I got it there. Now, why did I need this one? Over.
You know what? I'm sorry. That's how tired I am. Never mind. You don't need that one. That was not you. That's supposed to go to Robert.
Okay. I can pass it on, or you can in the morning. Over.
No, I'll send it to Robert. I heard you in there talking, and I thought, oh, yeah, I was going to get him that power supply information. But no, that's for Robert, KR70. I was down at his place today, and I will send that to him. I apologize, Rob. Good night.
That's okay. You got the same name of the guy. No problem. And I wanted to ask you something, too. I thought you were gone. Do you use Husky straps on your trailer that have the S-hooks on it? Over.
I believe I have, yes.